The next award is going to be the Excellence in Public Policy Award to Julie Sweet. And this is kind of unique because this is the first time that an awardee has ever had two people introduce her. What a great introduction from Greg on that. So thank you very much, Greg. But Julie will also be introduced by Mike Gregoire. And Mike has served as CEO of CA Technologies since 2013, was recently appointed to the role of chairman of the board. Under Mike's direction, CA has accelerated its software leadership with innovative offerings, invigorated its brand, and strengthened its market presence. Before joining CA, Mike served as CEO of Taleo Corporation, a leading cloud-based talent management software company that he built and took public before its successful sale to Oracle. Mike exemplifies CA Technologies' commitment to responsible corporate citizenship. During his tenure, CA has strengthened its engagement with the communities where its employees live and work, with an emphasis on advancing STEM learning for underserved youth. Mike is also on the board of Empower, a nonprofit that enlists and trains low-income young adults as well as veterans to become IT professionals. He's a member of the World Economic Forum's IT Governors Steering Committee, the Business Roundtable's Information and Technology Committee, and the Wall Street Journal's CEO Council. Mike also serves on the Executive Council of TechNet, an organization of CEOs that represents the technology industry and policy issues critical to America's innovation and economic competitiveness. Please join me in welcoming Mike. Thank you.
Well, good evening. Thank you very much. I am delighted to be here with you tonight. I have long admired the work and the pursuit of the CD and its constituencies. It's always struck me about the organization is the particular ability to take academic pursuits and drive them into practical actions. Whether the focus is addressing our skills gap in the U.S., fostering dialogue between business leaders and parents and high school students, or continuing to shine a light on any need that is occurring. I'm especially honored to have the privilege tonight of introducing Julie Sweet, CEO of Accenture North America, and this year's recipient of CED's Excellent in Public Policy Award. This award is an individual who demonstrates strong and unwavering commitment to public policy and our nation's best long-term interest. I can think of no one more deserving than Julie for this award. I've had the pleasure of serving with Julie on the board of directors of the Business Roundtable, as well as the Executive Council of TechNet, where I've observed her firsthand and genuine interest in pursuing the greater good and her real passion for improving people's lives. Julie is a fierce believer in the power of technology as an agent of change, and inherently understands the interconnection between technology and our national security and economic vitality. As chair of the Business Roundtable's Technology Committee, which I'm a member of, she worked with her fellow CEOs and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security over the last year to achieve an improved cyber threat information council. As recently announced by the DHS, she is leading several important policy initiatives on data privacy, digital identity, and emerging technologies. With keen business acumen, Julie has leveraged her role at Accenture not just to drive the business deftly, which she has most certainly done, but also an important voice for the inclusion and diversity. Let me share with you a few examples of how Julie and Accenture are holding themselves to an accountable standard that most of us can only aspire to. Julie co-chairs the Canada-United States Council for the Advancement of Women Entrepreneurs and Business Leaders, where she focuses on the advancement of women leaders in the private sector. She is also a member of the CEO Action for Diversity and Inclusion and serves on the board of Catalyst. In 2016, Accenture was the first and still the only professional services company to publish U.S. workforce demographics by gender, race, veterans, persons with disabilities, and which it updates annually. That is an incredible feat. Thank you, Julie. Julie did not stop there, however. She put forward a goal that by 2020, women will account for at least 40% of Accenture's U.S. workforce. And she has been instrumental in establishing Accenture's global goal of achieving a gender-based workforce by 2025. Accenture was recently recognized as #1 on the Thomson Reuters Index Worlds of Most Diverse and Inclusive Companies. No, not a member, but #1. Clearly, Julie has made diversity a core business strategy with her leadership. I have no doubt that Accenture will continue to achieve its goals and set this important milestone. Finally, under Julie's leadership, Accenture continues to be a major contributor to U.S. competitiveness. In the last 2 years, not only has Accenture trained 60% of its U.S. workforce on new IT, and they've also created thousands of jobs with the business and policy successes like these. And it is hardly a surprise that just this week, Julie was named one of Fortune's most powerful women for the 3rd year in a row. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming the CED 2018 Excellence in Public Policy Award recipient, Julie Sweet.
Lead a company, can't take a picture. What are you going to do? Well, thank you, Mike, for that very kind introduction. It's been a real privilege to get to know Mike at the Business Roundtable and at TechNet. And I'm truly honored to be included tonight among so many extraordinary leaders, and for myself and Accenture to be honored by the CED. A special thanks to my colleagues from Accenture here this evening for your support and for what you do every day at Accenture, for our clients, for Accenture, and for our communities. So as CEOs, we are often asked, what keeps you awake at night? My standard answer is, I sleep very well. Tonight, I want to share a story about my worst night's sleep in my 26 years of professional life. It was July 26th, 2016. It was the night before I was to host Accenture's first ever dialogue on race, not diversity, but specifically, and I quote, race, racial injustice, and violence, and how it affects our people. It was 2 weeks after our nation had witnessed the heartbreaking violence, a week of it, where 2 African-American men were shot by police officers, and then a group of police officers in Dallas were ambushed, killing 5 officers and injuring 9 others. I was nervous. I had the support of many colleagues, including our incredible Chief Leadership and Human Resources Officer, Ellen Shook, who is with me tonight and joined our webcast. But not everyone agreed with my decision. We had invited 50,000 employees to join an interactive nationwide webcast, followed by local community meetings. There was no script, no slides, no pre-meetings with lawyers about what we can or should say. I'm a lawyer, so I can say that. In the end, everyone agreed that it was an important turning point for us at Accenture. It became an ongoing vehicle we call Building Bridges, which has helped us navigate many, many events over the last 2 years. The webcast was first and foremost important because it is what our people needed. One African-American man shared, when he came to work, the silence was deafening. As much as we had done to become an inclusive company, it was not enough. We could not ask entire communities to park their experiences at the door. But there was a second very important reason we needed to do the webcast. We at Accenture, and I personally, have been outspoken advocates for inclusion and diversity in many public policy and other arenas. This was a time when the private sector had a role to play in helping bring our nation together to address important issues. And we didn't believe that we could continue to be effective advocates if we did not have the courage to have the tough discussions of race at our own company. At Accenture, beginning with our board, we believe we have a responsibility and an obligation to use our expertise and where we can add value to advocate for public policy. Now, we're a people business at the center of technology disruption. And so we focus our public advocacy on 3 areas: inclusion and diversity, workforce development, and technology-driven innovation. 3 areas we believe are critical to keep the U.S. thriving and competitive. And we hold ourselves to a clear standard. If we are going to advocate, we must be prepared to act, to make the proverbial walk the talk, and to invest in the communities in which we work and live. So advocate, act, invest. As Mike mentioned, we have taken some bold steps to set targets, be transparent, and hold ourselves accountable to make progress on inclusion and diversity because we believe it makes us stronger, smarter, and more innovative. And it's the right thing to do. So in 2016, when we signed the White House Equal Pay Pledge, we had already for years put in rigorous annual processes with a third party to ensure we had equal pay. In 2017, when we joined 68 companies asking for the repeal of the controversial North Carolina bathroom bill targeting transgender people, we had already moved to retrofit existing facilities where possible and mandated that all new facilities would include all-gender bathrooms. We are investing in our diverse communities with approximately 30% of our annual U.S. $2 billion spend channeled toward women, veteran, and minority-owned companies. In workforce development, we're working with government officials and not-for-profits across the country on reskilling and to improve STEM education. And at Accenture, we will spend $1.4 billion skilling our own 50,000 employees. And since 2011, our corporate citizenship program, Skills to Succeed, has equipped more than 500,000 people in our communities with the skills they need in an innovation economy. We are using our expertise to transform companies to advocate on public policy through the Business Roundtable, TechNet, and other on a range of issues from emerging technologies to data privacy to cybersecurity. Now, here at Accenture, innovation is our daily job. And over the last 12 months, as we've expanded our network of innovation hubs across 9 major markets, we also have expanded our apprenticeship program, focused on underrepresented individuals so that we can be part of making sure we have inclusive innovation economy. As I think about the challenges and the opportunities we face as a country, I am reminded of something that Greg, my dear friend, and I think you can all see why I admire him so much and his passion and what he's done for the community. Greg and I had just left what I think was our umpteenth roundtable with government officials on apprenticeships. And Greg looked at me and he said, "We can't wait. We've got to get going." And so was born the Chicago Apprenticeship Network. Thank you, Greg. As I look around the room, I see so many friends, and I know what all of you and the companies you represent are doing. And I'm truly proud to be in a room with so many leaders in the private sector who are truly leading from the front. I would like to wrap, however, with a personal reflection on the work of the CED. So my father did not graduate from high school. He painted cars for a living at a Honda dealership. He and my mom worked hard so that she could go to college to make a better life for our family, and she graduated as I entered college. In short, I am living the American dream. But we know that there are too many people in our country today who don't even dare to dream. For over 75 years, the CED has worked to help the health and prosperity of our U.S. economy. And the team at the CED, all of the trustees, are continuing in that tradition, doing vital work for all Americans. Never has that work been more important than it is today. And we thank you, Bernard, and the entire team and trustees for the important work you're doing. Thank you again for this honor.